Alright, welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. Please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the bell next to the subscribe button so you are notified every time a new video goes up on SouFLoTV. Come back, we talk about this. RENETO Adams, Mr. Adams, the big man, the one who everybody is convinced that if he is given a position, he would clean up Jamaica and Jamaica's crime problem as far as the murder rate goes, which, by the way, right now sits at over 1,130 from January 1st till today's date, and more. He has something to say about the Mobe cult behavior. Basically, Mr. Adams is saying that it's not surprising at all. It's not surprising at all. And again, shout out to the Jamaica Observer. Retired Senior Superintendent of Police RENETO Adams says that the cutthroat religion practiced at the Montego Bay-based Pathway International Kingdom Restoration Ministries should not come as a surprise. Now, I find that very discomforting, to say the least, that he said it should not come as a surprise. So I want to find out why he is saying that, because as far as I see, a lot of people were surprised, or maybe people just playing like they're surprised. Adams, unyielding in his view, holds that cult practice is now a new occurrence, is not a new occurrence in Jamaica. Regular something that's been going on for a long time. This cult behavior has always been around in Jamaica, you know. Some more severe and some more subtle. These things happen in Jamaica every day, man. It has been an ongoing phenomenon. It's just because of the media or because something extraordinary has taken place why some of them are exposed now. Some people that want to get healing or to get rich or even to get a visa to fly out, they have to make people blood spill and kill man and all these things. Them foolishness that go on every day, Adams said in a recent interview with the Jamaica Observer. I wonder if, is this them mean by them say, them gathering a load up with duppy. Wow. Making human sacrifices, huh? And here you have a man like RENETO Adams says this is a regular thing. Especially the part where he says some people, in order to get rich or even to get a visa to fly out, they have to make people blood spill and they have to kill man and all these things. Them foolishness that go on every day is what he said. You know the lodge, you know the obia, you know the voodoo. Many of them demand very extreme conditions for you to be a member. He continued. The throat of two members of Pathway International Kingdom Restoration Ministries, which is headed by Pastor Kevin Smith, were slit during a ritual, and a third person was killed in confrontation with the police, who said that they were fired upon as they approached the premises on Sunday, October 17th. Now, I just read another article to you in another video from the same publication, Jamaica Observer, where it says he attacked them with a knife when they breached the facility and got in. And now this one is saying was killed when he fired up on them. So which one is it? These kind of inconsistencies and mix up of information make people like me really give this a side eye. Anyhow, PCC go immediately today, Sunday. Now, the flood is coming. Go now. Run. Leave immediately. Leave immediately. Leave immediately. Run. All who are sealed yesterday, come now. Read one of the pastor's posts on Sunday before the bizarre sacrifices. He was telling these by text message, picking them and leading them to the building, the ark, because now is the time. The rapture is coming. Further, 42 members of the congregation, 31 of which were women, and 11 men as well as 14 children were taken into custody. The children were placed in state care while the women and 7 of the men were charged with breaches of the Disaster Risk Management Act, and they were also granted bail immediately. 4 of the men, including Smith, now remain in police custody. The other 2, Jamaica Observer has told by police, have also been released. Adams now told the Sunday Observer that during his years in the constabulary force, he learnt that criminals, especially those who had been charged and were facing imprisonment, they would turn to cults to seek their freedom. If you were to have a great experience with these criminals who have been charged with serious offenses, some have gone to Obiamen and other people who profess to have supernatural powers, he said. They go to these people to do things to make sure that they are acquitted. You would be surprised by the things that they do. They go and raid graves of people who are dead and buried. They raid the coffins. They raid cemeteries. And you would be surprised to know the level of society that is involved in these cults, and the level of society that is involved in things like Obia or voodooism and other forms of what he calls mischievous religious ideas. He further pointed to Alexander Bedward, a preacher of Jamaican revivalism, who was known as the Lord of August Town and leader of the Jamaican Native Baptist Free Church in the early 1900s in Jamaica, as an example of how some Jamaicans have always been that kind of way towards religious leaders. Bedward, who told his followers to sell all their possessions, including the land that they owned, and give him all of the profits, also convinced some 30,000 loyal supporters back then that they could fly back to Africa if they climbed into a breadfruit tree in August Town. In demonstrating to the people, he fell and he broke his leg and he had to be hospitalized. I can't make this up. I can't make this up. Yo, I'm gonna try this, you know. If y'all see me waving in a breadfruit tree in Jamaica in my underwears, trying to convince 30,000 people that this is the way, sell all your possessions and bring the money to me, your own land, sell the land. We're going to Africa. Just climb up in the breadfruit tree, but let me show you how to do it. And he fell and broke his leg and had to be hospitalized. He would woo all of his members and he forced them to gather up a lot of people. And the members dressed in all white as they used to dress. And he told them about the coming of the Lord. Adam said, the wearing of all white he linked to instructions from Smith to his congregations via Facebook that read, the ark is loading now. 123 Albion Road. Leave immediately. Dressed in white. PCC registered only now. Also, in 1921, Bedward and 800 followers marched to Kingston, prepared to battle their enemies, as he proclaimed that he was a reincarnation of Jesus Christ. The group was arrested and Bedward was sent to a mental asylum where he remained until his death in November of 1930. I'm thinking that Kevin Smith is probably going to try that plea because he would prefer a mental asylum than to go to prison. This case is going to be very interesting as it goes before the court of law, once they have compiled everything and bring these charges forward. If you remember the history of the church, the religion especially, Mr. Adams said, A lot of factors came together, Remember, the pagan is a part of the Christian religion, And those who used to worship other gods other than who we in the West would call the true God. People used to worship golden images and give sacrifices to golden images with the expectations that this dormant symbol could yield them riches and bring them good luck or save their souls and bring their souls into heaven. Now, when the church does something now, he added, we are all amazed and disappointed. But these things are not new with religion. Religion has always been promising people the impossible. And people who are weak in their mentality and really looking for something, especially people who are dispossessed, when they need something and are made promises by people who are in high authority like this man, Kevin Smith, who has a doctorate, people will join and do what they say. The church has put itself in a very precarious situation right now. I want to be very cautious, but many of the leaders are leading their flock astray. And instead of being spiritual, some churches are more physical and practical with a view of getting material gain, becoming rich and wealthy off of the backs of these people who attend. Look how long we've been saying this. But no, look how long Rasta been saying these things. But them bun beer fire upon Rasta and for anybody who tell you anything about this, right? Who has not known this? You can look around and clearly see that church has turned into a money-grabbing business, and it's big business. He says that the church has put itself in a precarious position, and I want to be very cautious. But many of these leaders, he says, are leading their flocks astray. No different from when we say it on Morning Thoughts or on SouFLoTV that many of these leaders, so-called leaders and church leaders, they are con artists. They are pimps, pimping a congregation. But various church leaders have denounced the gruesome act committed at Pathway International Kingdom Restoration Ministries. In a new release, the Jamaica Council of Churches, or JCC, condemned the killings and defended true Christianity. The JCC is outraged at the loss of lives and injuries connected with the recently reported religious tragedy in Montego Bay, St. James. The council offers comfort to those who mourn the loss of loved ones and associate and prays for the recovery of those who have suffered injuries, the release said. The JCC also commended the security forces for their swift actions and intervention. Adams echoed similar sentiment. He agreed. The police did the right thing, he said. They went in and they had these people arrested. Now, I'm only shocked in the sense that this was happening in the lockdown period and the police never had the intelligence, it would seem. And if not the police, other persons in this society would have had that intelligence that this was going on and have it reported before it reached to the extreme that it did. That's the only thing I'm shocked about. But remember, I've said that they knew, because members who are trying to disassociate themselves are now speaking. And apparently there are claims, allegedly, that multiple members had gone to the police previously and nothing was done. Mr. Adams theorized that similar activities may account for the rising crime statistics across the island. Now listen up, people. People go and kill because they are told by these leaders that human blood have to run. So all that can be a possibility. Even it is a small percentage that this is happening, I am not ruling that out. So you see, we are not far off. We are not far off. Human blood of a run though? Wow. Let's leave this right where it's at right now. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Man, this is a grim picture that has been painted. Imagine, someone can come kill you just because they were told that they have to load up them ring with duppy. Or they have to take blood. They have to make blood spill. And you are just someone who they choose to do so. That might explain certain things that have been happening. When we find like 75-year-old woman beaten to death, throat slashed, these kind of things, and people are like, well, she don't even have children who would get into anything that could lead back to her. I don't understand why this is happening or how this could have happened. We're sure she's not into nothing. It kind of broadens the lens for us to see the reality of the society in which we live. Wickedness in high and low places? Yes. Talk up. Let's have this discussion in the comment section below. And some of you are still going to be looking at your pastors and your church leaders like they are God, or they are closer to God than anybody else. And you're still going to be following their orders, and you're still going to be attending their services and rituals and keeping them secret. And you're still going to be doing what you're doing even after listening to something like this. But I digress. I'll catch you on the next video. I'm out. Peace.